mean? I don't want your cup in front of me.
That's where I wanted my cup, and that's where it's going to stay. Because I'm the man of the house. Okay? Anyway. Okay, so I think we were playing.
Funny jokes.
You see, there's a double standard. So there's a joke that I showed Senna, where I'll pull it up on this. You'll see it in the, I'll edit it in. But there's a joke that says a real woman gives the check and earns her earns her allowance. Huh?
Oh, the earns
Something
her
like
allowance
that.
or gets an allowance? Or
Earns her allowance.
Okay.
So you have a problem with that, I assume?
Of course I do. Why would I give you my check for you to give me an allowance? I work for that. I get it. I get it.
Well, here's the double standard in that. Japan does it for the husband.
Well, that's because it has been proven, honestly, that that a woman will spend money to improve the lot of the family and of the community, while a man will use the money to entertain himself.
That sounds like a female financed study.
No, it's not. It's a lot.
And you know what? I will be damned if I agree to something so sexist. And this is a time of equality. There's riots going on. We want equality. Financial, sex, race.
Right.
I can make an equal argument that in the West, especially in the black community, and I could say this because I'm black, to some people anyway, that women in the black community surely waste their money way more, or equally, to an equal extent as the men. Yeah. When you're talking about shopping for weave and makeup and,
Well, yeah, obviously it's a more complicated situation than that, but a lot of developing countries and programs in countries, for example, I know Plan International does it, they don't have, if they have money, it goes to the women, not the men, because that's where I got that information from, that the women will use that money to improve their community, while the men will go out and drink it.
Personally, I'm just doing this to make a video, but personally I do believe women are better with finances in general, if they have to be,
Women tend to be less selfish with their money.
A big asterisk.
Yeah.
Because
culture and
I think it's broadly based on culture. Another asterisk, I do believe that women make better governors, because if you rise that high, let's put it this way, if you take the most responsible man and the most responsible woman, the responsible woman will absolutely make the less impulsive choices and the better choices in the long run.
Yeah.
So I think you would give that job to governors, mayors, and leaders. I think women got it in the bag there.
I would agree with that.
Welcome to the show. Shall we do a little kampai to start the day off? If you're watching this, you're either not at a protest or you're gearing up to go to a protest. In which case, or just coming back from we're probably going to bed. So I don't think you're going to be watching YouTube coming back from protest.
People do YouTube to go to bed. That's a thing.
Weird, but okay. Right now, you will look in the background. It's a little bit different. We took a quick trip with our sister out here in Florida.
Your sister.
My sister. And we're just going to enjoy a few days out here. So in the meantime, we thought we would grace you with our presence. So, I'm Jason, and this is
Sana.
Welcome to the show. Today we have just 3 main topics that we're going to look at in the blurred sphere. So first up, what are your thoughts on, I just looked in the news today. Mark Zuckerberg had a response to his lack of Trump criticism. And it's kind of interesting because there's some leaked audio as well that got out. I'm going to look into that quickly. But I find it very interesting that Mark Zuckerberg has almost overnight turned from a Democrat to a Republican.
Has he?
Yeah, well, if you don't remember, in 2016, Mark Zuckerberg was looking into the possibility. Obviously, he has political ambitions. It's obvious that he has political ambitions. In 2016, he went out on a long road trip where he was visiting
Like social classes.
community, lower class, social classes communities. So he was going out to farmland and like the middle states, the battlegrounds, and he was just gathering opinions
Yeah. On him?
on just the state of politics in general. And everyone who saw this was like, well, of course he's gearing up for the next 10 years to pull a Trump, where a businessman goes forward. It was at that point that I realized where his political alignment was. I think he's definitely capitalist and
Definitely capitalist.
businessman. Man, you gotta appreciate, because like when you reach $1 billion, right, you have everything in the world. The only thing that's left is ambition. And
You do things because you can.
yeah, you feel like you rose the company to $1 billion. So I think you feel like you could lead anything. You're kind of drunk on power, right? It's like, well, if I made $1 billion, guess what better things I can do? And your worldview becomes kind of a fascist engine, I believe. And your ambitions grow way more than your love for money. And at that point, you just want to see your visions come true. Whatever you see.
Everywhere.
Yeah, you want to see whatever I say happens.
Yeah.
At that point. So 2016, it was obvious that he was going into politics. What's your take on that? So I don't know. Have you been keeping up with?
No, I do not follow this man at all. He annoys me.
Do you know what happened with Trump and his employees and everything?
Nope.
Well, Trump made some very inflamed. Well, first off, I guess we should go back a little bit. Let's go back to Jack Dorsey's decision to enable a fact check on Twitter.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, and
you're saying that Trump was saying that was like stifling his free speech or something.
yeah, how I don't know how fact checking someone saying, hey, that's you just lied. How that's impeding freedom of speeches.
Well, because you're free to lie without other people knowing that you're lying.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Just I know you know. So yeah, if you lie, the same thing. It's my freedoms to call out your lie.
Your freedom of speech isn't what matters. It's my freedom of speech that matters.
I'm pretty sure they meant that when they wrote the Constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, no. Not all freedom
Not
of speeches
all.
are equal.
Just
okay?
the rich people.
Yeah, just the people in power. Our freedom of
Rich,
speech
yeah.
and the voters.
We don't care about them unless they vote for us.
Unless they vote for us. And it's crazy. So Mark Zuckerberg after that point said, well, it's not in the place of social media to say who's right or wrong. It's like, bullshit. And this was a long time coming. After the criticisms from this administration and everything, I think he got a little scared. And he just sided with the bad guys on this, regardless of the... Oh, sorry, not bad guys. He sided with this particular administration because they felt like that it was more liberal leaning. Social media and Facebook was more liberal leaning and more liberal biased. And I think this is an overcompensation.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So Trump was saying, yeah, you're stifling... Trump said some infuriating comments recently after these protests.
Yeah.
He actually angered them more, and the Facebook...
Who's them?
He angered the protesters even more.
Yeah. He was saying, when the looting starts, the shooting starts.
Yes, that's what he said.
Yeah.
And the Facebook employees were outraged that Mark Zuckerberg said nothing about this, or he left it there because I guess he's using Facebook now as
instead of Twitter.
An outlet instead of Twitter a little bit more. And the employees were outraged that he could say that because it made things even worse. And the employees walked out. They did a virtual walkout on this.
Virtual walkout.
Yeah. Just to catch up to speed on this, at least 400 employees on Monday staged a walkout. And at least 2 resigned.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
And because of this turned into a Q&A meeting with around 25,000 Facebook employees who were able to ask questions. And yeah, according to this is what Zuckerberg's general response to the situation for leaving that post up was. He said, I knew that the stakes were very high on this and knew a lot of people would be upset if we made the decision to leave it up. That the right action for where we are right now is to leave this up. We basically concluded after the research and after everything I've read and all the different folks that I've talked to that the reference is clearly to aggressive policing, maybe excessive policing, but it has no history of being read as a dog whistle for vigilante supporters to take justice into their own hands. So basically, what he's saying is that he find that taking that down is policing, excessive policing,
Oh, okay.
and he wanted to take a more moderate stance and leave it up.
Gotcha. You don't want to limit speech, which is like no one around the world really has this free speech thing in their constitution. So it's definitely it's a different thing. So no one really else, I think, in the world has this issue. But I agree, you don't want to stifle free speech. Just because you disagree with it doesn't mean that it's wrong. But at the same time, you don't want to incite more violence.
And this is the trap that the U.S. has found itself
Exactly.
into over and over again.
Over and over again.
So this spills over into a new thing. Can there truly be a democratic free speech society without some form of censorship? Because there's so many different opinions, and then for every opinion represents a huge swath of the population, especially as more and more people enter this world. Next up, did you know that Peaky Blinders? Do you know the show Peaky Blinders? What do you know about it?
It's a show based about a family of, might as well call them they're Irish. They're English gypsy gangsters, pretty much. And they're slowly taking over one part of London or England and ruling it. I think it's during like the 20s or something.
Yeah.
Good show.
It's a good show, great show. It comes on Netflix. They're on their 5th season.
It's probably on like BBC or something.
It's a Netflix original.
Oh, is it? Good job, Netflix.
Yeah. So I don't know if they share something with BBC, but it's a Netflix original.
I was thinking of Sherlock, because Sherlock is BBC.
Yeah. And they're on their 5th season now, and they're doing really good with the numbers, so I heard. But a lot of people don't know that the main character, Thomas Shelby, Thomas fucking Shelby, if you watch the show, you get it. He was not originally was not initially supposed to be Cillian Murphy. That's the guy the actor who plays him right now. Do you know who was?
No clue.
Jason Statham.
Really?
Yeah, Jason Statham was this close to being Thomas Shelby. And
that would have been a very different show.
Such a different. So yeah, Jason Statham would definitely make. He's a gritty actor. He would make for a very gritty Thomas Shelby. Maybe not so intelligent. Maybe the Thomas Shelby we know today, kind of intelligent, have the suave about it.
It's not to say. Well, I hate that word. Suave.
Suave.
It's not that Statham isn't intelligent, but I feel like he's more of like a.
He's a brute
force type problem solver.
That's what I'm saying. Thomas Shelby, arguably, because as an actor, you get to make changes in the script to reflect your acting style and your
persona.
Yeah, I think Thomas Shelby was supposed to be originally a brute, someone who just boom, boom.
Some problem with his fist.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of intelligence and like future planning involved, but what Cillian Murphy did was really add a sense of like this guy has a full look at the picture and he can be violent when he needs to be. But Jason Statham, I think, would be a little bit flipped. This guy just like boom, just beats the shit out of people, and when the bad things come up, Well, are you for it, Jason Statham as Thomas fucking Shelby?
No.
No.
Maybe because I'm so used to Murphy. I can't see anybody else doing it.
I really can't.
If Statham had started it, I'm sure he would have done a great job, but I can't see it.
Yeah.
And also, like his face is now Shelby's face. I can't.
Yeah, it's like trying to think of Will Smith as Neo. Will Smith was supposed to play Neo as well. I can't even imagine it now. It's like
that's ridiculous.
That wouldn't even be a good movie. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Neo is Keanu Reeves. That's how it has to be. No emotion, kind of confused all the time.
A bit dumb.
Yeah. The reason why Statham didn't get the part and Cillian did. Cillian sent a late night text to the showrunner, and he was like, "Hey, I think he felt like the decision wasn't going to go in his favor." And he's like, "Hey, whatever decision you make, just remember, I'm a fucking actor. Well, he didn't say fucking, but he said, I am a real actor.
Oh, that's not good.
I think, but it's not to throw a jab at Jason Statham. What
Yeah.
he was getting at was that what you see, because he's a very different type of guy, Murphy,
In life.
in life, yeah. Apparently, I guess he's a little soft-spoken kind of guy.
I can see that.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm an actor. And I think he was trying to say, hey, just remember, whatever you need, I can fill in that.
You could pull out.
Yeah, fill that gap in. And I think it was the right decision.
I
Cillian
also,
Murphy,
yeah.
great guy. Glad he got it. And, Jason Statham is free to make
Hobbs and Shaw 3 or whatever.
or 4,
Whatever they're on.
Back to the Future, Hobbs and Shaw, whatever.
Hobbs and Shaw in space.
Hobbs and Shaw in space. Which is a great segue to our last topic. SpaceX did it! Good job, Elon Musk and crew. Literally, Crew Dragon. So they made it.
It is not Crew Dragon anymore. It is. What do they name it?
The mission is still Crew Dragon.
No, I know, but what do they name their shuttle?
The shuttle's official name now is Endeavour.
Endeavor, yes.
They named it Endeavour. The astronauts, Bob and.
I only remember Bob. I don't know the poor other guy.
I know, poor other guy. We love both of them.
I know. Bob is a bald guy, right?
It's Bob and Doug.
Doug.
So what she's referring to, if you watched it, yeah, he was just like in the background, just smiling.
The whole
Actually,
time.
let's do it. So
Who am
you'll
I?
be the talking. You'll do the talking.
I'm Doug. I'm
yeah.
Bob. Or,
You're Bob. You'll be the first guy. I can't remember who's who. You'll be Bob. I'll be Doug.
Okay. Why don't touch me? Why are you touching me?
Oh.
Doug didn't touch anybody.
So she's
Okay.
Bob, and Doug was like,
We're out here in space and we named it Endeavor, and yay, good job. So weird. Space stuff, more space stuff. We did it, space stuff. He wasn't creeping in that close. Stop it.
he was a little bit creeping
No,
in.
you're giving my boy a bad name.
All
Doug-
jokes aside,
Doug
he was
so
excited.
happy.
Yeah, Doug was.
I love Doug. He's my favorite.
Doug was excited, and I can't. I'm just making jokes. It was just funny to notice it, and I would be ecstatic.
Dude, yeah, because they've been working on this for a while.
They were working on this for years. They were like, when the program started, like years ago, they were the astronauts assigned to SpaceX.
Mm-hmm.
So they went through them step by step to build the systems to say the path,
what we
the
need,
journey.
and-
Yeah. And their life is on the line. So guess what? And you just made history. You're in the history
You
books.
are in the history books. And also, you're in space. They're friggin' test pilots. This is what they do.
Yes.
So to have your test thing come out well, and now you're back in space, and you're like, he's literally living his dream. He was so excited.
I'm very happy for them.
And he's probably like ridiculously wealthier now than he was before he was left Earth. So that probably doesn't hurt his.
He's
his mood
he's significantly wealthier. Can you imagine? So the future of space is going to be very exciting. I mean, they're going to be, I can only imagine how much they're paid because it's such a risky job.
It is a risky job.
I mean, I want to be an astronaut.
I don't.
Right now, NASA, you don't. NASA is looking for English and Russian speakers right now.
Fluence.
Fluent in both. Sorry, you have to be fluent in both languages, English and Russian, if you're coming from the United States, and they want to do a study on how long you can stay in solitude for the future missions.
Don't you need like a PhD or a master's or something?
In any discipline.
But
Doesn't matter which.
master's or PhD?
You just need a bachelor's, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just need a bachelor's in a
field.
field or the equivalent
Experience.
in military
Mm.
experience. So we had it backwards. Bob is Smiley McSmilerson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Doug is the other guy.
All right. Well,
So our mistake.
I love Bob then. I mean, I like them both, but
We love them both. We love Bob and Doug. Yeah.
Bob's my main man.
Yeah.
Sorry, but Bob's my main spaceman. Main
What is that supposed to
spaceman.
mean?
Smiley McSmilerson. You don't smile as much as he does. You're not as happy to do your job as he does.
Don't you love this face? That's
No,
an interesting face
I
I
hate
just.
that face. Let's never make it again.
Anyway, I think that's
More than enough.
more than enough. One last thing back on SpaceX. They're making a movie.
That dude, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yeah. They're going to go up with SpaceX. They have a partnership that they're working out right now to go up in space and make the first movie in actual space. No CG bullshit.
Well, they will be. Probably.
I hope not. They're in fucking space. Make a space movie.
They're going to make a space movie, but obviously they're going to CG some stuff. But, what's his name? Tom Cruise is such an adrenaline junkie. I mean, it's pretty cool that you like, you know what? I'm ready. Sorry, the bird. One bird just scared the shit out of the other bird. Sorry. I want to do this now. Make a movie. Make it happen.
I think he realizes he has a little bit more years left. So do everything that you ever wanted to do, you ever imagined. Because you have really great... I'm a stunt performer. So our mission, and I think Tom Cruise could have been a stunt performer if he wanted to.
He's got the... for it.
You know, stunt performers aren't crazy. They want to push the limit and they want to do it safely. And it's almost like living a different... a different, you know, when you're an actor, you live different people's lives, but you don't live every scenario. Yeah. When you're a stunt performer, you tend to live every scenario that could happen. A little, you cut up a life into bits and moments that most people don't experience. Yeah. So it's interesting. But the director is the same director for that was for Edge of Tomorrow. He will be the director of the SpaceX movie.
Nice.
Yep.
That should be a good movie then.
I'm very excited. I want to see what they do. I guess they couldn't make Edge of Tomorrow too. So, you know, clearly they love each other and they work well together. So, there's the hoping.
Yeah, one more thing. It's funny, but no one ever not no one, but when you look at a movie, you're like, who's in this movie? And that's how you go. Like, oh, I want to go. Oh, Will Smith's in the movie. I'm definitely gonna go see it. Oh, yeah. Matt Damon's in the movie. I'm definitely gonna go see it. But I do find it's like, oh wait, this is a Christopher Nolan movie. I'm definitely gonna go see it. I feel like that has more to say than who's in it.
Yeah.
Because actors can pick bad movies. I mean, directors can pick bad movies too, but the director has so much more sway on the movie than the actor. So I think it's interesting to choose movies that way.
Over the last few decades, it has been a smooth transition from the actor to the team per se that makes these movies. Yeah, but they both have very equal importance, even in the average viewer's mind. But it's definitely changing.
Well, I don't know if the average viewers really look at directors at this point. The average viewers, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Because you can people direct. Okay, it is proven now that if you just mention the director's name, the movie will do better. So you have your Steven Spielberg. If you say produced by Steven Spielberg or produced by Guy Ritchie, the average person
takes note of
it. They don't remember which movies per se they might have done, but they're like, oh yeah, I remember Steven Spielberg. Well, that is quality. I remember that's a quality name.
So I know Tim Burton. You're like, if it's Tim Burton, that's gonna be a weird ass movie.
Yeah.
I might like it, I might not, but I know it'll be weird.
And not only that, we are consuming more media now. So when you go on Netflix
that is very true.
So the average movie, the bar is being risen. And so, like, really big cinephiles, they'll know fucking music composers.
That's true.
We don't know music composers. We're not that far up the ladder yet.
Not that deep.
But as we're taking in more media, then the Hans Zimmerman's is going to excite us. Ooh, Hans Zimmerman, dude, this got to be an epic movie. You know,
that is
it's going to be epic, yeah. So it's kind of like that. That's my feeling on it. But thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. We will be making these into little clips. So if you don't want to watch the full shenanigans, you can just watch the clips. Please subscribe, and we look forward to annoying you again in the future. So thanks for tuning in, and stay safe out there. If you're in the protests, stay safe.
Stay safe.
I've went out once, and I think I might go out again, and
it's important.
It's important.
But also, if you're in the States, protesting is important.
Yeah.
But vote. Voting is coming up soon.
Yes.
Prelims might have passed in your state. They may not have. But vote. And
it doesn't necessarily mean to vote for a particular party.
I don't care who you vote for. Just get out there and vote.
Yeah. Get out there and vote more importantly, too, with the vote comes money. where you spend your money will influence certain industries. So if you are against fossil fuels and the pollution of the planet, maybe buy things with less petroleum and oil, and buy things that are more green friendly, that uses more renewable sources. And if you're stock investors, I think it's a good time to invest in things like Tesla and even Jack Dorsey. I think is doing some interesting things in Africa. His future plans, maybe invest in Square and.
But when you're not a financial.
I'm not a financial expert. I'm saying.
Look and do your research.
What I'm giving are examples.
Yeah, do your research. And don't
vote the way that you want to see the future.
Vote with your money.
Vote with your money.
Your vote.
And vote with your actual vote at the voting poll. And do your research on your candidates. Some of them are bought. With that said, I think I got it out. So with that said, I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. And smash that like button. Obliterate that like button.
Enough.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.